So our family book that we are reading right now, just started after it was a Christmas gift, is Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Seas. And there in the first few chapters, one of the early surmises of what Captain Nemo's devilish contraption was, is that it was a narwhal. So, of course, I'm going to drink narwhal. I've been looking forward to this beer for a while. Oh, goodness. So, Narwhal, in case you weren't aware, is Sierra Nevada's barrel-aged imperial stout. Specifically, it is a bourbon barrel-aged beer. Imperial stout, it is at 11.9, so 12% ABV. So it's going to be a swift kick, and it's going to be thick, and it's going to be, well, I expect great things. Sierra Nevada is one of those breweries that rarely does wrong, right? And I like their slogan, family owned, operated, and argued over, because that's the sort of thing that my family would do if we ran a company. It's decently viscous, maybe not quite so viscous as Crux's Tough Love series, but there is definitely some legs to that. Y'all saw from the pour, the head wasn't super thick, but it was present. And it definitely feels a bit thick in the glass, like as it swirls around, there's kind of an oily texture to its movement. Burnt sugars. Molasses. Maybe a hint of vanilla, but it's like a dark, wild vanilla. I don't know the different types of vanilla quite well enough to be able to give it a name. But it's like there's a vanilla, but it's a strong, dark, wild vanilla. It smells pretty sweet, which you'd expect from an 12%. You know, they had to put a lot of sugar in there to begin with, or they needed to have a lot of sugar in the wort in order for the yeast to have a lot to work on. And there's perhaps some, I don't want to say earthy, I'm going to say woody complexity. Yeah, perhaps some woody complexity or minerality. The flavors that I'm picking up are decently strong, and because we are outside, there's not a wind, there's not really any breeze, but there's enough air that the aromas are going to diffuse pretty quickly. So I'm having to really stick my nose in there to pick them up. I'd imagine if I were inside, stiller air, warmer room, that the aromas would be probably significantly more substantial. Yeah, there's a minerality, I think, at the top of the sweetness, but it's a dark sweetness that's pretty substantial, and then there's just like this mineral cap to it. Interesting. Don't you wish you were me? Well, the good news is Sierra Nevada is distributed quite widely, so you could be me. Oh, that is a rich, decadent, delicious, deep beer. I love it. So, several different types and layers of sweetness. There's almost a chocolate sweetness, there's a molasses sweetness, there's this burnt sugar sweetness. There's an interesting minerality, and it just goes. Like, you have it in your mouth and you enjoy it, and it kind of goes through a few different layers in there, and then you swallow it, and then you're retro breathing and you're tasting it again coming back up, but also like your nose, your olfactory is kind of picking up on, getting involved in the action. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's also a very nice creaminess, which I think balances the beer and sets it apart from some other of the super barrel-aged imperial stouts. The creaminess kind of serves as a vehicle that prevents any one flavor from punching above its weight too much. And that might also be a factor of this is pretty recently out of the fridge. I didn't let this one come up or warm up much. And it is also chilly outside, so it's not warming up quite nearly so much in my glass as it could. There could be a thick berry jam as well. I would guess maybe a blend of raspberries and blackberries. The chocolate is like a dark milk chocolate. So there's enough of a creaminess to it. It has the sweetness of a milk chocolate, but it's a dark, decadent milk chocolate. Maybe like a dark hot chocolate made with milk, that sort of thing. As far as the minerality goes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I could identify where it is in the flavors. Yeah. Okay. So let's try to maybe summarize or give you a roadmap. It starts with these dark, burned, syrupy, possibly fruity sweetness. That's the first thing. And then this creaminess comes and shows its hand pretty quickly. And it's like the sweetness drops out of the fruity character of the sweetness drops out around that cream. And then the other kind of earthy tones build with that sweetness and produce this dark hot chocolate sort of flavor. And so you have this nice kind of path from a thickly syrupy, fruity sweetness to a dark hot chocolate sweetness that just lasts and lasts, and then that slowly fades, and then you're left with this warmth coming back up, and the warmth is like up in my nose too. That's really sweet. That's really nice. That is a high ABV used skillfully to make the beer more than what it could be at a lower ABV. That's really something else. I'm really enjoying this. And yeah, I'm probably going to leave it at that. So I'm going to definitely give this a strong 2 stars. This is a really good beer. If you like imperial stouts, it's a good beer. If you like barrel-aged stouts, good beer. If you want to know what barrel-aged stouts are all about and what they can be, this is a superlative example of that. Well worth getting if you find it. That said, there are good barrel-aged imperial stouts all over the place. So you don't have to have access to Narwhal and Sierra Nevada, if you don't, to find one of those that'll, show you what that's all about, what it can be. But if you do have access to Sierra Nevada's Narwhal, I recommend you give it a try. This is a good one. Anyways, this is me, Matthew. I have been drinking and enjoying Narwhal, the barrel-aged imperial stout by Sierra Nevada Brewing. And I will catch y'all on the flip side.